Okay, guys, so in this particular program, this calculator demo program, we are working with two arguments, right? Now it works like when you send in the two arguments, it adds those two values and it displays us the result. If we don't send, then what happens? This particular statement results into array index out of bounds exception, because here we are trying to access an element from array which does not exist, right? So here exception occurs, and as we have discussed, when in the try block exception occurs, the entire try block gets ignored and that exception class object gets thrown, and it ignores the try block. It comes here to the catch block to see whether this variable defined here in the catch block is indeed capable of holding that created exception object or not. Over here, this variable's type and the object which has been currently thrown, they are same. So this variable is capable of holding that object. So we hold that exception object here, and by that we save our program from being terminated abruptly from Java, right? And we get this message, please enter arguments. That is absolutely fine. Now what if I send more arguments, like 4 arguments, and hit enter? Now let's see what happens. Now still you can see that like I'm sending 4 arguments, isn't it? Like 1 2 3 4. So what is happening? It is displaying 30. It is displaying 30 as an output here, guys. Right, now let's see where this 30 is coming from. So what is happening? This 10 20 30 40 4 arguments are getting sent here, getting received here in the ARGS, right? So ARGS is containing these 4 arguments, 10 20 30 40. Here a equal to integer dot parseInt ARGS of 0. So first argument we are accessing, converting into integer form. Here we are accessing second argument, converting into integer form, and then we are adding them. So we are ignoring this. So there is no question of any exception being occurred here. But as you rightly asked, like whether we should treat this as an exception or what, like because our program requires 2 arguments, right? And now if user sends more than 2, then we should give an indication to the user, isn't it? Like please don't send more than 2 arguments, because we are kind of ignoring them. So why to make the user send the arguments, isn't it? So if at all he is sending more arguments, then it's our job, like it's our program's job to indicate about it to the user that don't send more than 2 arguments, because we only work with 2, isn't it? But Java will not treat this situation as an error situation, because Java treats those situations only as error which indeed are some problematic thing from the Java's point of view. Like for example, you are accessing the element which does not exist, but the array contains elements but you don't access them. So that's fine. I mean, that's fine with the Java. Java doesn't treat it as a problem. What Java treated as a problem with respect to arrays, like if you try to access something which does not exist, because internally that memory itself does not exist, and you are trying to access the memory which does not exist itself. So that is what actually results into error. But if you have the members, you have the you have the memory created in memory created data stored, but you are simply not accessing it, so that is fine with Java. That's why Java doesn't treat this situation as an error situation, guys. Are you getting my point? Java doesn't treat this as an error situation, but actually we want it to treat it as an exception situation, because from our program's point of view, or the logic which we are building, or the context which we are building here for our implementation, we don't need more than 2 arguments here, because we are only accessing 2, and we are only working on those 2 arguments only in our logic, right? So the third and fourth or like whatever the arguments are there after second, we are kind of ignoring them, right? So for our point of view, we want it to be treated as exception situation, but Java will not treat it, because from Java's point of view, we are not doing anything wrong. Java is all fine even if your arrays have members which you are not accessing. If that was not fine, then Java would have treated this situation as an error situation. But from Java's point of view, it is all fine. Even if you define any variable and you don't use it, that's fine. Now here in this case, your array has 100 elements. Out of those, you are only accessing 20, 30, and remaining you are not accessing at all. So that's fine with Java. That's not a problem. Hence, Java doesn't treat this situation as error or exception situation. But we want this situation to be treated as exception situation. But Java will not be of any help to us. Then what to do? Then what we will do is, we will create our own exception class. The way Java has got created the exception classes in its library, null pointer exception, file not found exception, and then what, arrays index out of bounds exception. So Java creates those exception classes, it has created, and then it decides when to throw which based on the scenario which occurs at runtime. So Java throws the corresponding exception. So how does it do? It creates the object with new keyword, the way we create an object of any class with new keyword. So Java creates it and throws it. But now here in this case, now if we want certain situation to be treated as error situation, then it becomes our responsibility to define the exception class. It's our responsibility to throw it as well whenever that situation occurs, like which we want to be treated as error situation. So whenever that situation occurs, it becomes our responsibility to throw that as an exception, right? And catch also, like obviously the catching also is our responsibility. Now let's do that. It's very simple, guys. It's not difficult. We have to create our own exception class. So how to create? It's very easy to create our own exception class, which is called as user defined exceptions. Now the exceptions which we get, array index out of bound, null pointer and all, they are all system defined exceptions. Now the exception which we are going to create is called user defined exception. So I'll just create one class. So we have to first create a class for that user defined exception, and we can give any name to it. Okay, but let's give some meaningful name. So we will say wrong number of argument exception. Arguments exception. Now we want this class to be a exception class. We don't want it to be a normal class, the way we have been writing the classes, right, since last many sessions. But where we create only a simple class which where we represent some entity. But here we are representing an error class or exception class. So for that, this class need to have the attributes of error. So how can we get it that? So we have to extend means inheritance, but we are going to talk about this inheritance, don't worry. But as of now, for creating our own exception class, we have to just provide it the attributes of an exception. So how can we provide? We can provide it with the inheritance. So we will just inherit this with Java library class exception. So this exception class is from Java library, which has got all the attributes which any exception class need to have, any error class, which the class which represents an error need to have. So is there in this exception class. So we are just inheriting all those attributes of this into this through inheritance. That's the only inheritance usage we are doing as of now, okay, for creating. So we have created our exception class. That's all fine. Now what? Now what we want to do is, we want to cause an exception. We want to throw an exception. Okay. When we want to throw, whenever my user will send more than 2 arguments to my program, I want to throw an exception. Now how can we check how many arguments my user has sent to my program? So what happens, like whenever you send the arguments, where do they get accepted? They get accepted here in this array. So we can check the length of this array, right? So there is one property to the array, length, which indicates how many elements are there in that. So we will check it, like if they happen to be, like the length of the array happens to be more than 2, we will throw exception, because Java is not going to throw any problem. We need to throw it, okay, based on our scenario. So what we will do is, we will check if, because if the arguments are of correct number, then only we want to go ahead in the program. Otherwise the whole program we want to ignore, isn't it? We want to go ahead only if, because that number of argument is the first check in our program. If the number of argument is checked, then it will move ahead and will do the operation. So if args dot length, length dot length is greater than 2, then what I want to do, if this is the case, I want to cause an exception. So how to cause? Throw new, and so create the object of our exception class and throw it. So this is what we are doing, like we are causing an exception, we are simulating an error here. So how to simulate? Create an object of your class the way we create the objects of other classes, the same way. New, name of the class, and the constructor's parenthesis, like this, call to the constructor. This is the keyword throw, which is actually simulating a error here, throw. Now what we want, if the error gets thrown, we want all the whole program to be ignored. The whole program should be ignored, right? So how to do that? Now we know that whenever the block is into a try block, right, when the set of statements are into try block, so if any of those statements from the try causes an exception, the entire try block gets ignored. We have that understanding now. Now what we will do, we will put the whole program into the try block, the outer try block. This is a different try block where we are handling a different case, right? So let this be as is, we are not going to disturb it. I'm just indenting the program inside the outer try. So here we will close this try. This is the close of outer try. Now what we want, like if the user sends more than 2 arguments, the exception will get thrown. The entire program, as it is the part of the same try where the exception has been triggered, so the entire try block would be ignored, and we want to catch that exception, otherwise Java will terminate. So Java has the same strategy to handle an exception, whether it is system defined or user defined, that to terminate everything. But we do not want our program to be terminated abruptly, so we want to catch it. So how to catch it? So we want to just the way we caught this exception, right, by defining the variable. So I'll define the variable of my class type, exception class type here. I can give any name to the variable, and what message I want to print on the user's console, that please don't send more than 2 arguments. So I'll say system out println, and I'll say please don't send more than 2 arguments. That's good. Now let's compile. So I'm just compiling my program, CLS. So now when we will compile this file now, we will get two class files, guys. One is calculator demo, right, and one class file for this also, this class exception. So we have to shift both the classes in this package folder now, because this package now contains two classes and not one. So I'll shift Control X both the files in this, Control V. Good. Now let's run it. CLS. Now if I run with the two arguments, we are getting correct output. If I don't send anything, I am getting please enter arguments. Now if I send more than two, let's say 3 arguments, I am getting please don't send more than 2 arguments. Are you getting my point? Let's do a dry run, guys. Here let's do a dry run for all the 3 executions. So first, if I execute by not sending anything, okay, so what happens here? args.length is 0, as I have not sent anything, so there is nothing here. So args.length greater than 2, no, it's not. So this will not get evaluated true, so there won't be any exception thrown. It will continue A, B. Here args of 0, as soon as I try this, exception would be thrown. Which one? Array index out of bounds, Java's system defined exception would be thrown. The whole try block would be ignored. It will come here in this catch, and then it will move on from here, but there is nothing here. That's fine. Now if I send 2 arguments, then what will happen? Here again args.length greater than 2, no, it's not, so exception will not be thrown. Here args of 0, there is a 10 value, it would be accessed, converted, put it into A. args of 1, there is a value, accessed, converted into integer, stored and added. Everything is fine in this try block, so all fine, right? Now if we send more than 2 arguments, hit enter, then what? Let's see. Here args.length, how many elements are there in this array now? 3. So args.length 3 is greater than 2, yes it is, so this will get evaluated true. We will get our exception thrown. So this is a simulation of an error. So as there is an error into this try block, you can see the try block starts here, ends here, right? So try block, there is a simulation of an error. So this entire try block would be ignored. Until this point everything would be ignored, and we are throwing an exception by creating an object. So it will move to this catch, it will check whether this variable is capable of holding that exception object. Yes, it does, because the type is same as that of the object which has been thrown, and we are getting this message, please don't send more than 2 arguments. This is, guys, this is real time example where you can use user defined exceptions, and in our framework, automation framework, we are going to make use of this there, right?